What is up, everybody? I know it's super late. Probably no one's going to watch this live, and that is completely okay. This is all to just go on YouTube, get the recordings in, and make sure that our very first $50 tournament is at least archived and we're able to keep track of it and enjoy it forever. Our very first one. And by the way, thank you so much for everyone that has given a Prime sub. 100% of the money that comes to this channel goes straight into the prize pools. And because of that support and that generosity, we've been able to host this first $50 one. I think we're about halfway towards the next one. I really should get kind of that solid number and maybe put like a tracker right here or something. But otherwise, let's go ahead and get on into it. So we've already casted 2, and just for awareness, this bracket is well on its way. So we have a lot of catch up to do. And what you can see over here, right, is Navain vs. River was just casted by someone else, by Crather, who is a part of the StarCraft Underground community. Check him out on YouTube, Kraether. And he has that video, and it just went up a little while ago. And then we've already casted Ziggy versus, what does that say, Keen as well. And so we have Ziggy and Navain already moving into round 2 in the winners bracket. I'm going to start just hitting these from top to bottom, just so we can kind of just get straight through it. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to prioritize the winners bracket and catch up with those, maybe doing 1 or 2 a night if I can. The holiday period of time is really busy. I haven't been casting almost at all, and then we'll catch up with the lower bracket. But today what we're gonna do is we're gonna at least hit fischei and Styx. I'm feeling pretty good right now. If we have enough energy, maybe we'll move our way down into some of these other ones. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Also, if anyone is out there, let me know if you can hear me. Just because sometimes I've had entire casts go where the mic wasn't working and no one wanted to say anything. Hey, thanks, Jambulance. Appreciate it. Anyway, so up here, down here, no top versus bottom in this recording. So we're going to have blue versus pink. This was supposed to be Eclipse, but I guess it's not. So anyway, we'll get an idea of what this map is. Looks like Radion. So I'll go ahead and change the scorecard here in a second, but we do have our blue Protoss player here in the bottom right. That is fischei, and he's facing off against Styx. Down here in the bottom left is our pink Zerg, and I'm going to go ahead and fix the scorecard so that reflects. If I could figure it out. Interact. It's gonna be Radion. All right, excellent. So right now, nothing really going on. Both these players, I mean, all this was done a little bit before the holiday period of time, but I've been off work, enjoying some winter break with my kids. Hopefully everyone out there has been as well. And it looks like here we've got fischei getting a probe straight into a first scout here in the bottom left. Going to be seeing where Styx is. Now he's going to potentially see that extractor trick. He's going to recognize that this is in fact a 9 pool. And we'll see what kind of reaction that invokes. I guess he'll continue with just the Forge Fast Expand. Yeah, that's probably fine. And then maybe slap cannons down prior to getting the Nexus. Maybe get a couple before he goes straight into Nexus. And the drone's going to be heading over here and seeing fischei as well. But yeah, it was really cool to see another person cast some StarCraft Underground matches. And if you're not aware of what StarCraft Underground is, or what this tournament's about, StarCraft Underground, it's just a casual internal ladder system that we have in a Discord server. And it kind of revolves around 2 things. 1, there's always a bracket to sign up for. And 2, every match or series that you have a week to accomplish it. So flexible timing, always something to sign up for. It really helps people like me who have kind of unpredictable schedules, kids and stuff like that, and can't sit down for a tournament on any given Saturday during the middle of the day. Also helps with time zones and stuff like that if you're in Europe playing against people in North America, etc. So it's been really fun, and the support we've gotten from the community, we were able to put this tournament on for some cash money. So a little bit of skin in the game. Alright, this probe is getting a complete full scout, being a little annoying. Did delay these Zerglings from moving out for a little while, and we are seeing, you know, a couple cannons going down rather early, as opposed to just one, then Gateway, and then Nexus. So gonna have 2 there to protect against, well, what was that, 6? Yeah, he made 6 lings. So we are seeing a 3rd hatchery getting spawned in for the Zerg. Nexus gonna be getting gas. Likely gonna see some Corsair play, I think. Gonna be getting gas up here for the Zerg as well. Haven't seen a Hydralisk Den go down, but we're still pretty early in. And this probe is doing a great job of staying alive and sticking around in hopes of identifying the tech and the timing. Ooh, Overlord got a little bit antsy over here, but it is going to come in, is going to confirm that the Nexus has been thrown down. Getting probe transfer. Still waiting on any type of Hydralisk Den. Still collecting gas. And the probe still alive. This is a player who definitely goes into, you know, those UMS maps where it's like clicking back and forth from your worker to your units. Wow, the Overlord's going to sneak all the way by. He's going to get into the main. He's going to identify and keep an eye on when the Stargate gets placed down. And its placement. So he may, if he does decide to go into Aspire after the Hydralisk Den, be able to park some Scourge there. Catch some Corsairs as they're coming out. Now needs to be careful with the Zealot. Might get surrounded, but I don't think Styx was really paying attention. I think these guys just got aggroed into this. So a nice little move there from Fischei. He might even be able to come out here and aggro a few more of these into his defense. But instead, it looks like he's just going to try to head across. I didn't see it. I think Fischei actually did. Yeah, he did come up here and see the 3rd. So that might be a target for the lone Zealot. Yeah, that's where the Zealot's going. He's going to come over here to the 3rd. Try to harass these drones a little bit. Just a little bit. A couple more drones about to hatch. Looks like he's going to hide his Zealot over here. And this is going to call back the Zerglings from outside the natural. Okay, so pretty cool. Pretty standard for both players. Getting a 4th hatchery kind of in front of the natural at the moment. Over here on the Protoss side, we're getting +1 melee. And then we do have our Stargate up. Okay, so Stargate is up, but we have yet to see... Oh, no, we do have a single Corsair. And he's just going to go straight for this Overlord, which was already banged up a little bit from the cannons in the natural. Alright, this Zealot going to try to fight off these Zerglings. Meanwhile, that Overlord does go down to this Corsair. And it doesn't look like we're going heavy into Corsairs. We only have the 1. But knocking out that Overlord was enough to supply block our Zerg player. Hatchery, almost complete layer has begun. And now the Corsair is just going to start running rampant. We do have Hydralisks that are about to hatch, but only a couple of them. 2 of them are here at the natural, though, so Overlord probably going to want to come back. Oh, we'll see if it can survive. This is going to supply block him again. Yep, there he goes. So we're sitting at 36 of 28. Hydralisk not quite reacting in time. We do have 1 here. The additional 2 are going to help out quite a bit, and that's going to shoo the Corsair away. He's going to head up here to the 3rd base. Now, we are seeing a 5th hatchery going down, so 5 hatch Hydra does look like the move. eBay being spawned at the 3rd base, and right now we are starting double gas. Okay, meanwhile, Protoss has really been focusing, doing a really good job at worker production, sitting at 44 workers. Getting the Temple Archives. Going to be getting some Templar out. And we have yet to see kind of the burst of Hydralisk that we've been kind of waiting for. Kind of a slow opener here for Zerg. I think the supply blocking on those Overlords really did a number. So Corsair's going to come back in for a little bit more harassment and poke. He's gonna just keep zapping these overlords. We also have Zealot follow-up here. A whole lot of Zealots, actually. There's no Sunkens. I guess there's one that's morphing in right now. He's got some drones, but they're gonna try to clog up this hole. But only 3 Hydralisks. Like, where's the army? Lings are coming back. The Sunken goes down, and this might just be it. This might be enough damage. Seems kind of like a little bit of a discombobulated match here for Styx. Oh man, so many drones are dying. And yet, I mean, there's 13 Hydralisks and about to hatch. So here they come. Can they get this defense underway? Oh no, the Zealots are just on top of all of them. Just shredding the Hydralisks left and right. The drones are coming in, trying to help. Corsair is continuing to do damage these overlords. And I think this is going to be it. Like, we're at 24 drones. And yeah, there's the GG. Wow. That was a really quick first game. So let's go ahead and go into the next map. These are all best of 3 series, by the way. All best of 3. Let's go into the next one. Okay, so I did click on the wrong replay in this folder. That's why I was confused on the maps. Okay, I found the correct one. This one's going to be on Eclipse. Okay. All right, so here we are. Are they on top bottom? No. We can do yellow versus yellow. I don't know. Like, there's no way they chose that, right? I wonder why the system does that as kind of the shift tab option here. But anyway, here in the top right, we're going to have our pink Zerg Styx facing up against our yellow Protoss fischei. And I've played Styx. I've seen Styx play quite a lot. I don't know really what happened last game. There wasn't a ton of pressure early on. There was the one Zealot that came across. There was the Corsair that came out and the supply block that happened. But that seemed to be the biggest kind of hurdle. What I don't know, and I don't know enough about like Zerg builds, is if that Hydralisk den was just really late. I don't know if that was the case or if it was right on time. But it just seemed like he didn't have enough. So we'll see how it goes this time. Pylon going down. A little bit farther back than last time, but I do believe this is going to be a Forge Fast Expand again. And this time, I don't know if we're going to see the extractor trick into spawning pool. No, it looks like we're going to go over pool. So already a little bit of a different build. Forge going down for Protoss. He's going to be taking the right-hand side route. Now, I wonder if he's doing this to avoid the Overlord. This being a 2-player map, both players obviously know where each other are. And it looks like the drone's just taking the standard path. So, probe is going to bypass the drone. And the kind of cool thing about the probe direction coming in here is even though it's avoiding the drone and the Overlord, it's also presenting kind of that nugget in the back of your head for Zerg is there a proxy something, right? With these 2-player maps, it's not uncommon for Protoss or Terran to throw down some sort of proxy down here in the bottom right of the map of some sort. But getting this probe over here quick and early does open up the opportunity for like cannon rush play. Potential gas steals. But I don't think that that's what fischei is going to be doing. Zerglings are chasing the probe around. Only opened with 2 Zerglings. We do have the second base already started here for a Zerg player, and it does look like he's going to be going into a quick third. Okay, so playing a little bit greedy here. Looking to turn this into a little bit more of a macro game, I think, is Styx's game plan. And you can see here, right, like last game what we saw the early 2 cannons. And that was because he saw the timing of the spawning pool, the 6 hatches, or the 6 Zerglings hatching all at once. So the 9-pool defense needed to be bolstered a little bit. But this time, not really being contested. Able to throw down the expansion. Get the gas. Keep the build nice and crisp, saving 150 minerals. Crispy. Probe is still doing its thing. And we have straight into layer. So, potential opening with Spire, which would force a couple cannons over here in the mineral lines, likely. And also give good map control to Styx. But we'll see if the Zealot pressure can help kind of alleviate or slow this down. I feel like that's kind of the play pattern that can help you out against early Muta play. Now look at these routes that he's taking. He's sending the Zealot right up through the middle. Now last game what we saw the Zealot beeline it to the third base. That might be a similar strategy here for fischei. Now the third base on this map is a little bit tougher to defend, especially in the mid game when armies start getting a little bit more substantial. Like crossing this entire area, this is much easier to contain and then isolate the third base. Now, instead of opening drones here at the third base, we do have a pair of Zerglings hatching. We'll see how this goes with the Zealot. But buy some time, protect the drones that are coming in. And with 4 Zerglings, should be able to clean this up. Yeah, trying to get the Zealot hidden away here in a nice little nook. Ooh, not quite able to get the surface area there. Sending Zerglings one at a time does finally get the Zealot. And we have a 4th hatchery going out here in front of the natural base. Now here comes the Spire. And without without intense Zealot pressure early on, I think that the Mutalisks are going to be able to get out on the map and really, pressure and prevent a third base coming up for Protoss, which is kind of tough against Zerg early on anyway. That's why you kind of hide behind this wall for so long, get the Corsairs out, start harassing Overlords, have the Zerg lose all their vision on the map first before you kind of get that third base up and running. We'll see how this goes. The Spire is coming down. We'll see if he opens up with some Scourge or if he goes into Mutas. Not seeing anything yet. I do see another hatchery, so going into a 5th hatchery, and we are going to open up with some Scourge. So the Spire is going to come here to help prevent too much damage coming from the Corsair. Now the Corsair is completely uncontested right now, so might be able to get one of these Overlords. And there's the Hydralisk Den going down at the natural, sending it up down here to kind of serve as a portion of this wall. And here come the Scourge. Okay, so doesn't lose the Overlord, and is going to force the Corsair all the way back home to probably park on top of some cannons. Now that he's seen the Scourge out on the map, we're probably going to see some cannons, yeah. So we see a cannon in the mineral line over here right next to the Stargate. This is really good SimCity so that the Scourge can't just park themselves right on top and blow up Corsairs as they're coming out. And you can see that fischei is looking to expand his Corsair fleet. So Protoss is kind of forced to turtle up in this situation, right? The air control is here. Nice spot to stop with the Scourge. Any farther, definitely would run into the cannon, and the Corsairs are trying to snipe him. 2 cannon shots, I think. Oh man, that was enough to knock out one of them. And I don't think we're going to see too many more Scourge for now. Styx is doing a good job of transitioning into just Hydralisks. And fischei trying to pair with the Corsairs some DTs. So use the Corsairs, get the Overlords out of the way, force the Zerg to no longer have detection, and then sneak the DTs in to wreak havoc. Alright, we got some Fastlings running back home. Nice sunken placement here along the mineral line. Really tough for Zealots and Dragoons to approach this, especially with some Hydralisk support, so we'll kind of see that in action here. Unfortunately, the Sunken can't hit the Zealots if they're here hitting this hatchery, so that's kind of a bummer. And here we go. So Zealot Corsair coming in here at the third base. Oh no, Hydralisk kind of stuck on the ram. Not the most efficient engagement for Zerg, but there is enough And so Styx is going to be able to clean this up. Might lose some Overlords in the process, though, as they're all kind of flying all over the place. And there is enough Corsairs here that they melt pretty quick. Oh, man, just barely protecting that Overlord. Oh, needs to be careful with the Corsairs. Okay, so does pop in here to get that Overlord, but loses 2-3 Corsairs in the process. Not sure if that was worth it. But it does supply block Styx for the time being. And now we're seeing Protoss kind of go into their gateway explosion. Starting to get Storm. Starting to get Dragoon range. And now's probably the time that Styx wants to make something happen. We're still waiting on energy for the bulk of these Templar. There's only some Corsairs here and only a couple cannons. This might be the time. Now Styx is going to try to push in here. He's going to try to snipe down these cannons. They're going down quick. The probes are being pulled. At least a few of them to keep them at bay. Oh man, forcing these cannons down as soon as they pop up. A lot of drones are being lost here. Trying to target down the gateway. Oh, but Storm! Storm is so good. Oh no, another huge storm. Right on top of the... Oh my gosh. All these storms. But the Hydralisks have done a fair bit of damage. Now again, we saw this last game. Fischei really on top of making workers. Still has a substantial amount of probes. And all of these Hydralisks do end up dying. A few more that were rallied out here do pick off the Corsairs that were kind of flying overhead. And now these Zealots are going to clean up the last bit. But you can see here, Styx is not done. Sending continuous lines of Hydralisks towards the base, trying to get a bust here. Now, a lot of storms were utilized in that last defense. So I think if Styx can keep the pressure on, he can still try to get some damage in. Now, there's no Overlords present. Ah, that's the problem, right? The Corsairs took them all out as they were coming over. Now, he does get one over here, and that's going to knock out the DT, so not too much damage done there. And right now, Styx is looking perfectly fine. He's the aggressor, but these storms on the defense, got to be careful. Need to watch the army, need to react, because these Hydralisks just continue to melt. Now, right now, there's kind of, you know, one of two things you should do, in my opinion, right? You have either continue the pressure, continue to try to knock down this wall, keep Protoss contained, and try to end the game. God, look at that storm. Or two, set up kind of a loose contain and start expanding all over the map. Now, we're still on 3 bases as Zerg. These Zealots sitting with 1-1 upgrades, the 1-0 upgrades of the Hydralisks. Yeah, this is definitely a rally. You can see the drones showing up here for Styx. We got battle drones. Best kind of drones. Oh no, where are these Hydras going? Okay, so they went until the storm happened, trying to snipe some of these High Templar. But I think that maneuver just wasn't really worth it. A lot of cannon shots, able to just melt the attack. Okay, so these Zealots look like they're gonna start creeping around the map up here to the top left. Kind of what I was saying, right? Like that period of time, it's not uncommon for a 4th base to go up. And you can see here, Styx is even thinking the same thing. He's like, okay, it's time to expand again. But the timing here is just phenomenal for Fischei, as these Zealots show up right when that hatchery gets planted. Now, I think Styx is definitely seeing all this happen with the Overlord, so he's going to reposition some forces here to defend his 4th base. And it does appear we still have some rally drones heading across the map. Let's go back, guys. Okay, so Fischei comes up here. He checks the, I don't even know what to call this, top left corner base. I was going to call it something like mineral rich base or something. This base obviously having being a more substantial expansion. Sees there's nothing there. Fairly confident at this point that Zerg is only on 3 bases, getting their 4th, sending another Zealot down here to the bottom right bases to get confirmation of that. Now, some Hydralisks getting isolated from the group down here on this ramp provides an opportunity for Fischei to get some free kills. Now, right now, Zerg has been doing a pretty good job of getting their economy up, now up to 49 drones. But now we're seeing kind of a more sophisticated army from Protoss roll out. And this is the time that Protoss is going to want to get their 3rd. He's probably going to move out with this force, Apply some pressure, potentially here at the 4th base. But I imagine a probe is going to sneak on up here. There he is. And start getting the expansion up for Protoss. And not a whole lot of map vision. That's kind of the result of those Corsairs. You know, the fear of Overlords being lost for free. You lose a lot of that map vision. And, I mean, the alternative being get Burrow, maybe. Scatter some Lings around. But, you know, observers are going to be everywhere. So, it's kind of tough. Ooh, not sure if Styx saw that pylon being placed. The Hydralisk came down here, but I think he caught wind of this attack. Decided to pull back his army. Probably the correct choice. There's not a whole lot of static defense here. Gonna have to rely on the Hydralisks. Ooh, but we have a bunch of Mutalisks here too. And these are gonna be fantastic at sniping these High Templar. Now, that's not gonna stop them from getting some disgusting storms. Look at that. Oh, Hydra carcasses everywhere. Big engagement here. Hydralisk trying to cut off any additional reinforcements, getting a full surround on these Dragoons. But the Zealots are going to town here. They might be able to get this hatchery. It looks like that's their focus, especially the Hydra Den too. Oh, Hydra Den's gone. So gonna need to get a Hydralisk Den built back up as soon as possible. In fact, it seems like there might be one somewhere. I'm looking at the production tab and I see lurker aspect being researched, but maybe that's actually just lurkers being made. Or maybe I'm an idiot and that's not even from the Hydralisk Den, but I thought it was. Yeah, it was just a single lurker being made. Okay, so more Zealots running around. So after attacking the natural and the main, we're doing kind of that ping pong, you know? Left hook, right hook kind of thing. So now we're going to be hitting the left side of the base. Going to be killing the second Hydralisk Den. And going to be getting additional probes as well. Good little harassment here. Now Hydralisks are coming in to get rid of this. More Mutalisks being morphed. And our single lurker, baby. Yeah, I'm going to set this guy up here. Defend this 4th base a little bit, I think. Meanwhile, 3rd base for Fischei is up and healthy. And I'm not even entirely sure if it's been scouted. Okay. A little bit of an engagement here. Definitely outnumbered here is Zerg. I don't think this is going to be overly effective. These Zealots are just doing absolute mayhem to the Zerg army, sitting at 2-2 upgrades, 2-2 upgrades for the Dragoons as well. Getting +3 armor for Protoss. Okay, now here's the Mutalisks. We got Mutalisks and Lings running around. This can help a little bit with the Zealots, but there's enough Dragoons, and a good storm would really mess up this formation. And there's cannons everywhere, so I don't think the Mutalisks are going to get a ton done. But what they can do is they can force Protoss to bring their army back. That's what we're kind of seeing, right? Like, Mutalisks show up here at the 3rd base, start killing some probes, and we see all of the Protoss units come back. Zealots, freaking High Templar, everything coming back to try to protect the... Oh, bummer of a storm there. Only damaging his own forces. Meanwhile, a little bit of a counterattack going on up here that almost looked like a misclick. But there's plenty of lurkers and Hydralisks to take care of that. Okay. Alright, so where are we sitting? 2-1 upgrades. We've got a whole bunch of hatcheries. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hatcheries. 7th on the way. We're going up to a 5th base for Protoss. Natural's mined out. Main is mined out. Ooh. Going for a 5th base for Zerg as well. But you know, Fischei has been really on top of scouting these expansions. Keeping an eye on when they're going down and where they are at all times. Now, I don't think these 2 Zealots are going to be the end of this base. We do have drones being transferred on over here to the 5 o'clock. But these lurkers are about to morph, and they'll cut these guys down pretty quick. Yeah, that does it. Alright, so here comes the counterattack from Protoss up here in the top left. Now, we have a healthy amount of lurkers, a couple sunkens, some hydras. Now, what's really dangerous here is the storms. And you can see the lurkers, they're spread pretty well so that a single storm's not going to kill all of them. What I'd like to see is some way of getting rid of this observer. We got to be careful. Ooh. Okay, that was actually a really good way of baiting out that storm. Didn't take too much damage. That could have been a lot worse. There's a storm, but only hitting one lurker. So far, Zerg doing a pretty good job of holding this with minimal casualties. Going to force the Protoss, I think, to turn around. We'll see. Still a few more storms in the bank, and one storm can change the tide of a battle. We know that for sure. Ooh, he sniped the Observer. But the storm! We got to get out of the storm! Okay. So a little bit of a stalemate here. Protoss, I think, opting to, conserve combat power. Retreat back with his army. Likely try to head over all the way across the map to this. We're not at Hive Tech yet. Oh, no, we are at Hive. But we don't have any Niduses, right? So some of these outside bases are a little bit vulnerable. Now, there's a lot of lurkers there. And Protoss may be just trying to take this expansion for themselves. That's what it looks like is about to happen. We don't have any observers with this army, so the lurkers alone can do a pretty good job of defending this ramp. Need some really good storms to break through that. And then meanwhile over here, a little bit of a counterattack from Zerg. And we got ourselves a game. 20 minutes in, both players playing phenomenally. But those Hydralisks did end up going down. The cannons and the storms that were present. Fischei really solid at keeping his army mobile, keeping it all over the map, scouting at all times. Now, he's a little out of position. There may be an opportunity here for these Hydralisks to knock this base out. Now, Styx was unaware that this base was a thing, sending some drones to expand. But he's going to realize, seat taken. That's okay. Protoss is okay with that. He's instead going to charge in towards the natural. Now, again, these ones are a little bit clumped up. A couple good storms could really just give Protoss the advantage that they're looking for. And there it is, right there. Right on top of two lurkers, a bunch of Hydralisks, getting the other one off to the side. More storms, just shredding everything that's coming in. But we're really close to the Zerg base, and with at least 7 hatcheries full pumping, with a big bank, and 62 drones, I think Zerg's going to be able to hold this just fine. Now, a good storm right here. That might be what Protoss is looking for. Now, we do have Defilers. Might be seeing some nice, solid plagues going off on this Protoss army. Meanwhile, it does look like Zerg did obtain control of this 5 o'clock, 5:30 base. Nice lurker egg on the ramp, going to buy some time. But there's a big engagement going on outside the natural, so... Oh my gosh! All the Zerglings popping like bubble wrap. And with this Dragoon and High Templar force, we're going to need more than Zerglings. He's pumping out a lot of Zerglings. Unfortunately, they're rallying right by the engagement. But I think... Well, I don't know. If the Zerglings can get on top of these Dragoons, we might be okay. But these Storms, they kill them so fast. And I don't know if we're at the point yet for Zerg if we can be this inefficient with units. We're at 0-2 upgrades for Zerglings. I don't think, Crackling, well, I guess +1 is on the way. Alright, there's the Dark Swarm. The Dark Swarm doesn't stop Storm. Dark Swarm's like a big old target for Storm. And Zealots don't care either, so we'll see how this goes. We do finally have our Nidus network up, so we can start getting reinforcements from some of these other bases. Oh, well, there that goes. And this Dragoon force, this 2-3 Dragoon force, proving to be so resilient, is just shredding through everything that's here at this natural. Got Overlords going down, Styx now supply blocked. More Lings flooding the area. Now this might be enough Lings to actually clean up. We'll see. No, they're just dying so fast. Now they are doing a little bit better with that +1 melee coming online, but this natural looks pretty much dead Not really sure there's much Zerg can do to protect this at this point. Replacing that hatchery up here in the main. Now all the tech is up here, but there's not much in with regards to defense. And now with Archons in play, this might be it. I mean, we're trying to send more and more Lings, but I think we needed a little bit more robust of unit composition. So killed the natural and decides to move on to, it looks like the third base, right? Not focusing on the tech, focusing on the economy, focusing on catching these units out in their rallies and doing a good job at it. These Hydralisks are walking down the ramp straight into Archons and they're just blue-balling all of them. Blue-balled Hydralisks. And there's the GG. That's going to be a 0-2 victory for Fischei. GG's. Whew. That was a lot of fun.